Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of ATL.
Watering
What
hole.
up? And on this episode, we have our good friend and special guest, Mr. Ben Robinson, the third, apparently, because he got that in his little.
Yes, the third.
You
have to be special to be the third.
Not the second, not junior, not senior, the third. That's
third.
what he wants you to know.
I am the third iteration of Ben Robinson. The first one, he wasn't that good. The second one is dope. And the third one is me. And I'm dope. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I like it. So
that's a good
you put some good on that name. I like to hear that.
Yeah, that's a good percentage. You winning.
You winning. I love it. I love it. All right. So, Mr. Ben, tell us about yourself before we get going.
All right. Well, my name is Ben Robinson III. I moved down here at the end of 2018. I did 9 years in the corporate space, and I turned 40 in 2018. And I was like, it got to be something better than this because this ain't working. So I quit my job. I packed up everything I own, and I moved to Atlanta. And in that time, I have found employment primarily as a bartender and as a writer. I have written a few things. I wrote a feature. Something down here, I wrote a feature. I produced a short film. I've written 2 series and I wrote a play. So I'm now in the process of this entrepreneurial life, which is not for the weak.
It is
not.
No.
It is not for the weak, but there's no other alternative for me. So even when it's like really dark and it gets kind of like, how I'm gonna make it work, I just make it work. So I have no choice. So that's where I'm at.
Where did you say you moved from? I missed it.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay. What's that? The city of brotherly love?
In that building.
Is
that brotherly love? Am I getting that right?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Also, the home of Mr. Ricky Jones.
Yeah, as long as you don't tell me you're an Eagles fan, I think we can make it through this segment.
I have really enjoyed this conversation with y'all. And I guess, it's time for me to head out.
You gonna head out like SpongeBob? Okay, well,
Eagles fans, Sixers, all Philly teams, baby. All Philly teams. I don't have no choice.
We them boys for life, so I don't really know where this is about to go. But
I'm from Detroit, and I got the Lions to compete with, so.
Boo!
Yeah, ain't nobody.
I grew myself, so not at all. So. All right, well, we'll get right into it. So we've got some good topics. You know what? I just completely forgot that we're supposed to be doing our It's a Vibe. So we're just gonna table that.
I know we're not.
You want to pull up an It's a Vibe real quick?
Because I'm always good for an assist. Okay, you can be
I'm passing it then.
What we doing? I got you.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. We did say that we were going to talk about Bill Russell.
Oh, and I got another one there.
Yeah, so he's our It's a Vibe. He just passed away just recently, but hopefully if you're familiar with anything to do with basketball, you are familiar with Mr. Bill Russell, who was with the Celtics for 13 seasons, and he won 11 championships out of those 13 years that he was in the league.
Wow.
Is that correct?
How did he pass?
They didn't say, but he was 88, so
Yeah.
He lived a full life at that point, you know what I'm saying? So the NBA has recently retired his number 6 jersey across all of the teams. And they did like a jersey hanger with all the number 6s. I thought that was really cool.
That's awesome.
They also, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, after the finals, an MVP is chosen for defense, I think. And I believe it is called the Bill Russell Award.
That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, so I'm not all up on all of the terms. My son will probably fuss me out for not what I'm talking about. But the point of the matter is that Bill Russell is our It's a Vibe. Rest in peace, sir. You've done amazing things for the NBA, and I'm pretty sure a lot of basketball players look up to you, and so that is a whole vibe.
Absolutely. So, and along those same lines with the sports, I think our It's a Vibe should also be shared with the Miss Serena.
Oh my God!
I love you.
She was our vibe before.
But now she got to be a vibe again because her legacy is coming to an end. So Miss Serena Williams, we salute you.
Absolutely.
We thank you. The world is forever changed for what you brought to the game of tennis. You know that. Because people like me who never watched tennis, we're watching it because of you.
Absolutely.
So thank you for your time. I think she left, of course, as I no less than I would expect, with style and grace.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's not a retirement; it's an evolution, as she would call it.
Yep, and I think she played her last match in Canada somewhere.
I thought she was in the U.S. Open. She's in the U.S. Open, correct?
I don't know what I think she was in Canada. I watched her do an interview saying that this was her last game, and a lot of the Canadian fans were so excited because she shared with them ahead of time that she was leaving, and therefore they knew that they were watching kind of her send off.
Got you.
So
I guess that was her last game in Canada, but the last thing that she's going to be doing is the U.S. Open.
But don't you have to make it to the U.S. Open? Because I don't think she won that match.
I think it's separate because they're all different tournaments. You got the French Open, Australia Open, U.S. Open. I don't think you have to win one to qualify for the next one. You just go into the next tournament. So this is going to be her last tournament, I think, and then she's done after that. So
there's going to be like a big thing when she like retires, when she has her actual last game. It's probably going to be like media coverage, like crazy.
Absolutely,
like crazy. Yeah,
absolutely. Twitter probably is going to be going crazy.
Yeah,
they were really covering this one like that was it. So that's interesting.
And I haven't seen any of that on Twitter, but I know they said
that's why I brought it up.
Okay, got it.
Well, maybe. I guess we'll stay tuned. But either way, she announced her retirement, and we appreciate everything that you brought.
Yes, I mean we have a Naomi Osaka without her. We have a Coco without her. Some of the big names. I know there's another young lady. I think her name is Sloane. Who was very good.
Was she the one that said the thing about the check? She's like, honey, when they showed me the check, I think
that was her. That definitely was her. So, hey, show me the money. So, yes, that is awesome. That is a whole vibe. So we'll go right into our next topic. So I wanted to do something a little bit lighthearted before we get to arguing, debating.
Oh, Jesus, here we go. Yes.
With the millennial
stuff. Ordering home.
I'm ready. He is ready. So I want to talk about some of the TV shows that we grew up with and whether we feel like they have aged well. Like we can still watch them all day long.
This topic was meant for me, I guess. I think I am one of those people that sit up and watch reruns like they're new. Yeah.
You see something new every time.
Yeah.
All right, so who wants to go first? Which show do you want to?
Sister, I got my own mind. I do my own style
in my own time.
Y'all know it. And the reason you know it is because it has aged very well.
That second intro, no, that second intro, like when they were grown and they were finally getting some and they was in college, they was like, fuck this old intro.
Yeah, and they turned it up. Yes,
with the mini skirt
and the tube top. I was like, yes.
They had dance moves and everything.
Correct. And
the only reason why I watched Sister was for Marcus Houston. That's it. That was it. Immature was. I had the museum of Immature. That's what I'm saying. My entire room was covered in Immature posters. Okay, I was obsessed. Do you hear me? Literally obsessed with this young man. And so, like you said, it has not aged well since the B2K drama and Raz B.
I'm gonna have to tell you, like Tia and Tamika would say, go home, Roger. I'm finna say, go home, EJ, because it was clear that the show was about so much more than Roger. Okay,
that's what I watched for.
And if that's what you watched it
I'm just telling you,
you missed it. Get into it. Okay,
play that back. They had Bud.
And Bud, yeah. I'm just saying, play that back because you're getting this one wrong, EJ. That's still good TV.
I have not watched it again.
You need to.
In the last couple of years. Every time I see it, I just skip it. Now, okay, so since you brought up Sister, that brings me to Moesha. Moesha has not aged well for me.
I can't watch it because it's too many dead people on there. So when I be watching it, it's just like when I watch the Parkers, it's like, damn. And
dead on the Parkers?
And Dale is gone. Lamont, who played oh God, I can't remember what his name was on the show. Hakeem, yes, that was her
Tommy
best friend.
From Martin. And
Tommy from Martin. Yeah.
Tommy was on the Parkers?
Yeah, he was Kim's dad.
He was Kim's dad. He sure was.
Kim's dad.
It sure was Kim's dad on Parker's. Yeah. But on Moesha, the one episode that annoys me is that episode when she wanted a car, right? Mm-hmm. And she couldn't get the car that she wanted, but her dad worked at the Saturn dealership, right? Okay. So he was going to give her a brand new Saturn, and she talking about that wasn't cool enough. It wasn't representative of her. So she turned down getting this car because she couldn't get the Jeep that she wanted. I'm just like, I don't see that. Mm-hmm. I don't care what kind of car it is. If I'm riding on the bus.
Does it drive? Does it park?
And that's why you think it didn't age
that is one of many things, but that's one of the episodes that sticks out for me as to why Moesha has not aged well. Okay.
I'm pretty sure a lot of children are giving ungrateful, which is what that episode is about. And I think that's pretty on point with what we live in.
That you would rather ride the bus than to have any car?
I mean, these kids that nowadays would rather take Uber than have anybody's license. I'd be confused. I'm really confused.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get my license. Even
if
it was Uber back in the day, I'd have been like, nah, I'm trying to drive.
I'm still gonna need that. Exactly. At 15, I was there with the permit. Then I was there for the driver's ed courses. I'm like, because as soon as I hit 16, I'm out. I don't know whose car I'm out in, but somebody got something.
Exactly.
In the country, you could get anybody's vehicle. Sorry if y'all listening. Yeah, but you could get the keys like it wasn't nothing. So yeah, I didn't care. Long as I had.
And then I felt like Moesha was just she was in everybody's business. Like she was doing a lot.
She was nosy as hell.
Moesha? For sure.
She was nosy and she was an instigator. She'd be like, Kim, why don't you drop the cookies? Like, oh no.
Yeah, Moesha got on my nerves. Okay, so mine was sister. Yours was Moesha. I said sister. It's timed well. You said that it has not. Moesha, you say it has not aged well. I'm inclined to possibly agree. I haven't watched it lately. And so, Ben, what's your pick?
Mine is Always and Forever Living Single. Living Single is one of my favorite, if not. Now I ain't gonna front. Like I watch a lot of TV growing up, so like I have a multitude of shows that I love, and they range from like white shows to black shows to just fucking shows. But Living Single,
that's epic.
Epic.
I already know what you're gonna say. It has aged well.
It has
like a fine wine.
Excellently.
Like a fine wine.
We all agree on that.
There's nothing problematic, and I'll even give them this. In either the second or third season, they reunited Pam and Charmaine in an episode where Charmaine's character was getting married, but she was a lesbian. At no point did they make it problematic. At no point did they make it like a caricature or a stereotype. It's just a good episode, and it still stands up today. So the things that they were doing, they were making classic TV. Didn't even know they were making classic TV. It was just classic TV.
Yeah,
awesome.
Agreed.
I can literally watch it and play it all over again. That's just one of my favorites, Living Single, which brings me to my other all-time has aged well, except for one episode, A Different World.
Oh, A Different World was for the culture. It has definitely aged well.
My God.
But which episode is it? Which episode
that I don't like?
Is it the rape episode?
No, no. The episode that hasn't aged well for me is with Whitley and Dwayne at the altar. I cannot stand that episode. I just can't watch it.
It's the best episode ever.
Oh, I know. I was like, that's everybody's favorite episode. EJ, what the hell?
Hate it. I feel like if I was your boy and you did that to me, I would have had to put hands on you. It's just, there's no way I'm walking out. And you could have said this yesterday. Don't embarrass me on my wedding day.
Whoa. If you're Whitley, you putting hands on him, or if you're Whitley's beyond?
I'm Byron. Like, I'm putting hands on Dwayne.
Byron, okay.
Byron. Yes, they did Byron dirty. That's what turned him into who he became on Scandal.
I mean, that's true. I thought the same thing.
All these decades
later, he's still holding on to that. He is upset. That's why he's killing all these folks.
It was so bad, they just left. It's not like there was like a resolution. It was like, all right, well, he won't be with her. That's cool.
And just left.
Never happened.
Just left. I
feel like they allowed Byron to find his true self, because let me tell you, that role wasn't for him. He was never a good guy. Byron is way more believable as the role he played on Scandal. Those lines were epic, but the way he gave the show life. Okay, Olivia Pope's daddy, there will never be another. Her dad and her mom had the best script of the show. So
I mean, he would monologue for days, and it would just get on my nerves.
Oh, they were everything.
They all had monologues. They all had them. Like every last one of them, at some point during the episode, they would get a monologue. Like,
but his was epic. Like I remember, man. Yes, he was the only one that could get Olivia together. So
that is true.
Okay.
All right. And I guess we could do about 2 more shows and then we'll go into the next topic. But okay. Now hear me out.
You don't get another show. You done gave your 2.
My bad.
It's Dan's turn.
All right. Fine. Well, I was waiting. Y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all went till y'all took too long. Y'all took too long.
You did not.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna monopolize and satellize it.
Okay.
Okay. My other one, Always and Forever. I don't care if it's aged well or not. Girlfriends.
I love Girlfriends. I will forever love Girlfriends. See, this conversation was for me. I think I'm going to agree with everything because I sit and watch reruns every night. Yes, 1,000 times.
Tony got on my last nerve.
They got on all our nerves.
Oh my
that
God.
was the show.
That's
they got on all our nerves.
I don't know.
They were like people we knew. It was like, Joan, what the fuck is wrong with you? Tony, look, stop. They were like people we knew.
First off, EJ, you squinting. When the last time you rewatched this? Because
not too long. When they brought it back for the reruns, I watched the whole thing, and I was just.
And you weren't getting your entire life.
I realized why they got on my nerves then.
Why? What was it?
First of all, Tony Child was so backstabby to me. I would have put hands on her. Like, there's no way. And then Joan was so annoying. I just couldn't have been friends with her. I don't see it.
Joan was annoying as hell.
I just couldn't.
Joan was very annoying. Tony was very unreliable. But I think that the thing that makes the show beautiful is that we all know people like that. They gave it to you on steroids to prove a point, to really drive the point home. We all know a Joan. We all know a Tony.
Oh,
I'm trying to think.
We all know a Lynn. We all know a Mike.
I do know a Lynn.
Everybody knows.
You know a damn Joan.
Everybody knows Amaya. Anybody black know Amaya because she's
everybody knows Amaya. Yes.
That was like, I had a baby young, but fuck this. I'm gonna be successful.
EJ, you know a Lynn.
I definitely know a Lynn.
And you know all of these.
I mean, I know them, but it's like when you see them on TV, it makes you just want to just like I don't understand it. Why are y'all like this?
But that's just like the range of good acting because you see her as Joan when she real whiny and crazy. Then you see her as Rainbow Johnson. It's like, yo, she can really act. She
really can. Shout out to you, Tracy.
William has not aged well.
No, William looks bad.
William was never the finest.
He wasn't fine on the show, but at the same time, that wasn't on my bingo board. That's how he was come out.
I fuck with you, Big Willie. I fuck with you still. For your personality, for what's in here. Okay, or what's on the inside. I fuck with you, Willie, but not because of the look. It was never the look for me.
He was cool. He was a cool guy. He was a really cool guy.
I love Joan, and I can appreciate Joan because she was the attorney on the show, and she always makes me think to myself, okay, Luana, are you having a Joan moment? Like, can you really just dial it back? Because you don't want to be what you saw growing up. That's why they put it on TV for you, so you could check yourself. All the black lady lawyers, we get a bad rap on these sitcoms, like on these TV personas. I hate it. So I watch them like the Mollys, the Jones, the Maxines, all of that. I watch it and I'm like, okay, I see pieces of me and all of these, and I'm going to pick the pieces that are hopefully the best, put them together and be the best lady lawyer I can be. But I'll close it out. With my second one, and it is Martin.
Oh my God.
I'm the man.
Yes.
That is like my favorite show. When I tell you, I can put on almost any episode and cry laughing. Like I have never seen it, and like 2, it happened yesterday. I die.
There's so many funny episodes, but I think that episode with the damn CD player, and he had that damn dog,
and he thought somebody stole something. That's not
somebody knows something.
My favorite,
My favorite one though
is when they went on that damn vacation and that goddamn like furry animal came out of nowhere and he was trying to girl, I cry. Real tears.
Yeah. That ain't no damn puppy.
That ain't no damn. And therein lies my point. Point made. Okay, when you can remember the quote, that's good TV. That's aged well.
Yeah, it has aged well. I will have to say we can do this all day. I mean, we might have to do a part 2 because there's like 4 or 5 more that I feel like have aged well, not aged bad. So, but yeah,
the ones that aged bad, but I'll come back for that one too.
Yeah, we definitely have some.
You were just supposed to pick the show and say which one you thought, which way it went.
Right today, like you can still watch it all the way through. Oh my gosh, like I said, we got so many. Do you think that the shows that we currently have are, I guess, doing the justice from what we've had before in Black TV?
Not at all. Not to me. I can't name a Black sitcom that I'm like, this is gonna go really well later. I know a lot of people love Blackish. I like Blackish. I don't know that it's gonna age well. Mm-hmm. It's one of those in the moment funnies, you know.
I can agree with that. I think I remember there was a time where we ain't have no Black TV, like we ain't have no options, and it's probably like around like the early aughts, maybe like the early 10s. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a whole lot of our representation on TV, so it's good to see Black people on TV. I don't know if it's going to like stand the test of time like these other shows, because these shows were written from a perspective of like it just has to be funny. Is what Say Blackish came out in like 2010. Let's say it's like 2015. It's 10 years later, and they talking about like smartphones or something else. It's not going to age well because the technology is always going to change. So it's going to be dated just because of the way it flows. It will be dated. I think so. It will be dated.
Yeah. All right. So like with Insecure, do you feel like Insecure is going to age well?
I think that will.
That will, yeah.
I think that will.
That's a good example of one that will.
Okay. All right. And are you watching her new show, Rap Shit?
I haven't watched it yet.
Actually, I haven't. Is it good?
So far, so good. I like that they're different people that we've never seen before. And the acting is really good. So what I love about Issa is that she's giving other actors and writers a chance to show what they can do. So that's what I love about where this is going. Obviously, Issa Rae, if you're familiar with her, she's done the Awkward Black Girl series that was on YouTube. This is going to be your origin story, Ben. I'm waiting to see the rise. You're going to see you start with a web series. Next thing you know, I'm like, I knew him when he was one of the little people. And
I got ladies.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm waiting to see. I love a good origin story. Show you from the bottom and now we here.
When you need to cast your Black lady lawyer, we here.
I will come.
Every good show gotta have one.
And my sister is also a lawyer, so I got 3 Black lady lawyers in my life. Shout out to my sister Debbie.
Yes,
I'm covered. I'm good. I know y'all not gonna let me.
We got your back, your front, and your sides.
Listen, and I got y'all back as well. You need something, I got you. Holla at me. You need some Southwest syrup?
Right, got you. Sipping no sip. All right, so that takes us to our next topic. Now, this might cause a little argument. I don't know. It just depends on how mature y'all gonna be.
Here we go.
You know,
let me drink some water and not mind my.
Just get yourself. You know, I don't think it's gonna be that bad though. This is because again, we are asking for perspective from the men, right? So I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about millennial men, and so the young lady was saying that. Right, that's funny.
Man, why the face?
I forgot we're recording.
Okay.
All right. I'm listening.
Okay. The millennial man, right? And she was saying that she notices when it comes to men and I guess commitment, settling down, marriage, it's not so much about the one, it's more so about a matter of timing. So like, for instance, you could be with the one, but it's just not the right time. Y'all break up for whatever reason. And then the next girl that comes along, all of a sudden it is the time. And X might find that y'all are engaged or whatever, and she's feeling some type of way because why wasn't it her? You know what I mean? Simply because it's a matter of time more so than the one. And that women tend to focus on the one all the time Whereas men, it's just like, okay, my homie just got married. All my friends is married. Okay, so I probably need to go ahead and do this. I need to settle down too. You know, or they reach a certain age where they're ready to finally be a father or something like that. And so I was just kind of curious if you agree that it's a matter of timing more so than anything.
No, I will say that for the most part, because I'm older, so I'm 44. So like I've been doing this adult thing for a long time, and I've known friends, like one of my friends is on his second divorce. So I don't think it has anything to do with timing. I think it has everything to do with, for men, what you feel in that moment. Because we're visual, we like what we see, and if what we see somewhat matches what we like, it's kind of like, I gotta lock it down, like this gotta be mine, even if it's not like the right choice. So I think on one side it is like just wanting what you want at the time, but also another side, it does have to do with aging. Sometimes you don't want to be out here doing all the whoring, and get bored. It gets boring after a while, especially like when you like.
Ben, are you married?
I am not married.
Are you married?
I'm not married.
Okay.
I'm single. I was in a long-term relationship for like 3 years, and it was not good. So I have been taking my time, and also because I'm older, it's not like I don't want to just jump back into anything else. So even if it means I never jump into anything again, I'm cool with that. But I think a lot of people, they want something to, I guess, like bandage the feelings of not having somebody be there for you. Because it's easier sometimes for some people to at least have a body there just to say they're not alone.
Absolutely. Drake said it best. Don't nobody want to be 70 and alone. And I second that notion, Drake. Hey, boo, if you listening.
There she go. If you a bird,
we can be 70 together. And you ain't got to be alone, and I ain't got to be alone. I'm just
if you a bird, I'm a bird.
I'm a bird. Okay. Yeah. I do agree. I think people do sometimes want a warm pulse because they're tired of being alone. I don't think that life is a single player game. I do think you were meant to go through it with a companion. I think it's a two-person job at minimum. It's the jungle. It's the struggle. So I can definitely see getting to a certain age and feeling tired. Tired in the sense of it's got to be perfect. It's got to fit this box, this list, this descriptor. It's got to tingle my soul. I can see myself getting way over that way quick. In fact, I see myself getting there at about 69. When I turn 69, you guys don't ask any questions about what happens when I turn 69 in April and I'm married in July. Okay, don't worry about who he is. Don't worry about where he came from. Remember this message. Remember
don't play this back at the wedding.
With the big screen.
No, don't play it back at the wedding. He might be in love. This might hurt his feelings. Don't play it back. You just know what it is and don't ask me no goddamn question. You know what the hell. You know why.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think back, like for instance, with my brother. He didn't bring too many girls around, right? And so when he finally did like introduce the girl that he's now married to, I pretty much knew that's what it was, because like I said, I didn't know too much about how my brother moved as far as dating was concerned. He didn't really talk about stuff like that. It was kind of like, you do you, I do me. You pick your trash, I pick mine. So again, it was like he got into his 30s, and then one day he was just like, okay, I think I'm gonna marry this girl.
I mean, that happens. That definitely happens. My cousin Troy, he's gonna see this and he'll laugh. He'll love this. Troy was a hoe. What's up, Troy?
What up?
He was knocking him down. He was having a good time. And then he was like, you know what? I just met this girl. She really dope. I just want to marry her. I want to have kids with her. So he did that. And
so I don't know.
And he was in his 30s. And I have to say he was in his 30s.
He was in his 30s. Okay.
So it was like, yeah.
Okay. And I think about mid-30s is where I would say it tends to hit men if they're going to be on a time window. I think that window starts to close when they start hitting their mid-30s. They start thinking about it differently.
It's around that time, like a lot of brothers, those that like aren't marriage focused or like family focused, like when they're younger, it hits them a little different, like, because all your homies is having kids, like they getting married, they get into these relationships, they settling down, and you looking around, it's like, you know, I'm in my 30s, maybe it's time for me to do something different. And I think I had the majority of my relationships, I had one when I was in my 20s, and then I had like two when I was in my 30s. I am still zero in my 40s, which is fine with me. I'm good with that. But I would say like 30 is around the time you kind of start thinking like, oh, you know, maybe it would be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Right.
I would say that. I would agree with that. Yeah.
So that kind of makes me think back to Lori Harvey, right? So
Yes.
she was just in this dating relationship with Mike B. My should have been
Mhm.
boo. We not worry about that. And I just kind of feel like by him being in his mid 30s, that's where he was at, and just Lori wasn't, right? Being 25 years old, it makes sense that she would not, you know, be ready to move. But you know, when a lot of people were thinking like Mike B is gonna be the best that she's gonna get. And
Yeah.
so they were kind of surprised when she was just like, nah, I'm not really trying to do that right now. And so I had a higher level of respect for her, even though she's not one of my favorite people. But I don't know too much about the girl. I just kind of feel like I like the way she moves, in a sense that she does not do stuff that does not agree with her just because somebody asked her to do it. You know what I mean? Assuming
Yeah.
that that's what happened. I
Yeah.
do feel like a lot of times, to Luana's point, we're checking things off of in a box, but it might not still be the right time, even though it's on your list. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's still things that she might want to accomplish before she's ready to take that next level, even though, again, you know, Mike B is in his 30s, so he's ready to do that. Whereas, again, she's only 25, so she's still got a lot more to learn, more to live. And she said who she was at 21 is now who she is at 25. I think
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
What?
a
That
very
is
true
true.
statement.
I was
Yeah.
20 years old with a kid, and I definitely didn't know what the hell I was doing. So now
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out here at almost 40 years old. So
Okay.
I couldn't imagine, you know, I guess at 25 trying to someone asking me to marry, and I'm still, you know, kind of figuring things out. You know what I'm saying? Things
Mhm.
were moving a lot faster for me because I had a child. It was, you know, responsibility and things like that. So it just accelerated, I guess, some of the decision making, but at the same time, I still was not ready, you know, but it was
Well,
for family
I
for
will
sure.
say this, like as the resident old head, I will say this. We
Season.
all, like when we young, we like, because I saw that same interview because I had to write about her last week when
Oh, wow.
she did the interview with Tiana Taylor. I wrote about that.
Taylor,
So she said I'm not the same person at 21 and I am at 25, and she said it with such confidence, like 25 is this big number. And when she said it, I was like, oh baby, oh Lord, you don't even
We're
know.
still not who you're gonna be.
It never stops. That's the one thing that I've learned. After I hit 40, it never stops. It's not like you get to 40 and it's like, oh, now I got it all together. No, you don't. You always want to want something out of life. So to see her growth from 21 to 25 is a beautiful thing. Because a lot of people is 25 just running around fucking everybody. She like, nah, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna get myself together. I don't want to just be in anything. So she's on the right path, but it never stops though. It never stops.
That is true. That is true. You
Oh,
are
yeah,
absolutely
for
correct.
sure.
It does not stop, because even when you're in a relationship, you're going to be evolving.
Yep.
The people you were when you first got married is definitely not going to be after 25 years. You're going to be completely different people. So I guess that is something to keep in mind, that to think that, you know, at some point you're going to be, I guess, a different person, which you are, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a relationship can't fit into that. I just think at 25, she just still wants to accomplish some things without having it be tied to a husband, I guess.
And there's nothing
You
wrong
know?
with that, especially
It's
somebody that's
not.
10 years older than you, because he's gonna be looking at different things. He trying
Right.
to settle down. He like, yo, let's have a kid. And she like, nah, you know, it's happy hour, nigga. No.
And I think it's a case by case basis, because some people do need that gap and it works just fine. You know,
That's true.
back in the day, 10 years age gap wasn't anything. In fact, when I was growing up, my mom, that was her guidance to me. Always date older, Luana. Date
Okay.
older, because I know my child. I had you at 40. You're an old man's baby. You act like a granny. I do. I watch the Golden Girls. You know, like
A show that has aged well.
hello, come
Ooh, how did we not say
So,
Golden Girls?
I thought we only had to talk about black shows, because I would have said that one first.
Oh, we definitely should. I mean, no, it could have been any show, but definitely Golden
Right.
Girls. I could watch that all day. Play it back.
Yes.
Listen.
So I say all that to say it's a case by case. You have to know yourself. I know that typically me and a younger person aren't going to be looking at the same thing. So sometimes that 10-year gap works. I also know that even with the 10-year gap, I wasn't ready to be married at 25. As old acting as I am, I wasn't ready to be a wife. I didn't even know what that meant. Although I knew how to pay every bill under the sun. I knew how to work a double and a triple shift. I knew what having children looked like. I knew what single parenthood. I understood a lot of things about being an adult that was way before the time. Yeah. I didn't understand what it meant to be a wife, not in the sense that I would dream about being. So I think it's just a case by case basis. And if she felt like that relationship was not the one for her to stay forever, I applaud her. It is what it is. And
because a bitch like me would have said yes. I ain't gonna tell that lie. Yes.
But see, that's the thing. He getting like, the right man at the wrong time.
Pick the shoe off the floor. I'm saying yes. I didn't even know what he asked me.
But getting the right man at the wrong time is just like getting the wrong man. It's really the same.
That is true.
You're gonna run through it, and then you're still not gonna have him at the end of it. You're gonna be divorced. You're gonna be somewhere lonely again, starting over. And I think about that actually. So that's my little come to Jesus moment. Now that I'm 30, a beautiful hot 31, 35.
Oh, bless her heart.
Okay. So now I'm not a man. I don't sit and think about like, oh, all of my homies are getting married or all of my homies are having babies. I don't think about that because most of my friends already have children or were already married. But I do think to myself sometimes, have I passed up on my love? Like, did I meet the right man at what I thought was the wrong time? And now is he gonna circle back around? Like, Lord, because you said what you have for me is for me. Is he coming back? Because I think I was ready now. Like, I don't know. So that's my only moment sometimes that I'll have where I'll be thinking like, dang.
Well, I do think sometimes women, I ain't gonna say men, but I do think women sometimes act like there's an endless supply, right? Like they can just keep, I don't know, I won't settle. I'm not settling. Da, 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 da. Like everybody is settling, ma'am. He just like he might settle. He's going to be settling for something as it relates to you as well. I just think if you get too rigid, thinking that another ship is gonna pass in the night, you're gonna be sitting on the dock of the bay.
But I think I might be Otis.
Wasting time.
I might be sitting on the dock of somebody's bay. And I don't like that word, that subtle word. It don't sit well with my spirit. Okay. I don't like the S word. Let's not say that. I will make some adjustments. I will not be settling for shit. Okay. I'm just not gonna do it.
Well, okay, so maybe that's it. Maybe we need to change the word. It's not so much settling, but you realize that there's enough in this person to stop here. Like I'm okay stopping here. Settle does, like you said, doesn't sound like the right word. This ain't a settlement like in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
There are no cash prizes.
Exactly. Right. I just think we need to say, okay, you have a lot of the things, the qualities that I'm looking for. I know I have a lot of qualities that you're looking for. I feel like I can be comfortable here. I don't want to say settle, like settlement, like when they came over and took the land from the Native Americans.
Oh, yeah.
So that was
I don't like the S word. It doesn't set well with the
word. That's what we need to do. We need to change the word. It's a lot of times where the wording just don't be right.
It don't be right, and that's why we can't get on board. We can't get on track.
Can't get on the good foot.
Not at all.
Nah. Okay, so for each of you, I would say I'm gonna give you from one decade to the next. So for you, EJ, from your 20s to your now 30s, and then for you, Ben, from your 30s to your now 40s, name one thing that you have kind of relinquished. Like, it's like, you know what? I thought this was really important in finding a mate. I really did. But now it really don't matter.
Why you got to be hitting people with these hard questions?
Because the topic is whether or not timing matters, and some time didn't pass. So I'm trying to figure out what you done with your time. What have you done with your time?
Time has passed. It really has.
Okay.
It has.
Oh, well, considering that I came from a very, I guess, religious background, I think that I have, I'm not as rigid as I used to be, because I've come into my own about who God is to me and what he expects of me, and the way in which I'm supposed to move, if that makes sense. So I'm not, there's like, it doesn't have to be like, he got to go to church, he got to do this, he got to do that, da, da, da. I just think if he believes in a higher power, that matters to me versus, I know so many people that go to church or are constantly reading the word, but don't practice it. And that's that ain't gonna work for me. I want, if you're going to stand 10 toes down in something, that's what I want it to be. I don't want you pushing for me to go to church, but you don't practice none of that.
And so previously you were more rigid in the sense of he's got to do this, this, and this as it relates to religion. Now you've relaxed those standards.
I've definitely relaxed that. And there's just other things that I, have experienced in my life that I guess experience shame around, that I, again, because of the religious doctrine, and I don't necessarily believe that anymore to where I hold myself to that, I guess, shame anymore. I've kind of relinquished it. Now, obviously, I don't share all my views with my family because, again, some people are just too deep within. They're just not going to be able to see a different perspective, right? But I just think as I've done more outside study, as I've been away from that influence, because most of my family is in Michigan while I'm here in Georgia, I've kind of come into my own understanding of some things and kind of just doing what works for me. I do think sometimes families, they mean well, but they overstep boundaries. And so you have to really have boundaries in place when it comes to your relationships. So that you just have your own influence on things versus what other people have told you should be doing. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm definitely not as rigid as I used to be. And you know that, Luana. You remember?
I know. I was just going to let you tell.
Thank you. She loves to get on me. You remember that miss you had?
Listen, y'all see my shirt? I love the Lord, okay?
We know.
I love the Lord. But I stand 10 toes down. I said what I said. Yes, EJ had a whole checklist, check box, all of the above. I was like, girl, and I'm her Christian friend, and I'm like, girl, there's some stories in the Bible that say you gotta have a little patience. It's not gonna look like that all the time.
It's not. No, it's not. But again, I also think you can't stew for too long in things. Like when things don't work out, I think a lot of times we're so quick to be like, oh, I don't need to date no more. I'm gonna take a break. And then before that break turns into 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think you do have to make a decision to move on. I think a lot of women put their eggs in one basket instead of enjoying dating, So when I finally got, I guess, kicked into dating, because between Luana, Katrina, and all of my other friends that was like, you have to go on a date, because I probably hadn't been on a date in 6-7 years before I got back out there. And I just immersed myself in motherhood and working, So one day my son was just kind of like, Mom, you need to get out the house. Like I was smothering my child to the point taking him to concerts all the time and different things or whatever. And I realized I just had an epiphany one day that or as Luana would say, that the pizza man wasn't gonna knock down the door, So I had to kind of like put myself out there, plus living all the way in the burbs. Most of the men in the burbs is married. So, I had to really get out there, and not be afraid to actually just experience some things. Of course, there's been some heartbreaking things like that. That's to be expected. But again, not letting it paralyze to the point where, again, you wake up and then you're 40 and you're still single, if that's what you desire to not be single.
I know I am the 40-year-old that's single. I will tell you, I think I've always had this vision, like I'm going to be somewhere and I'm going to just meet this dude and it's going to be awesome. And we just going to kick it and it's going to be everything. That shit don't happen. It's in movies. You watch movies. You watch TV.
Wait a minute, Ben. You're not going to come for whoa. That is not where I saw. You took me up just to bring me slap down. Do me like that. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. Okay,
How's that working out though, Wanda?
We flying high over here. Don't do that, EJ.
Okay.
Don't attack me. Don't attack me.
I'm just saying.
I feel attacked. God, damn. Okay, carry on though. I'll just tune that part. I heard what you said. Okay, so from 30 to now 40, this is the look. This is what we got. This is the outlook.
No, I went through a lot. My last relationship was trash, and it was all those things. We met in a bar. It was cool. I was like, he's cool. He's really cool. That nigga was crazy. He was crazy.
So does that mean that the journey can't happen the way?
I mean, instead of me,
you got
maybe
real
I won't
close.
meet the next one in a bar. Maybe I'll meet the next one at Kroger. Maybe it's better, you know.
I always thought it would happen like that, but it didn't. You know.
Y'all got weird.
I'm still open.
I never thought.
No, I'm still open. I'm still open. I just don't have that same Joan vision. I ain't got Joan vision anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore. It's more realistic, like, because it can still go down like that. I don't know how it's gonna go down. It's still go down like that.
I'm saying. Okay. So what's the more realistic view that you now have at 40 something?
It's gonna be one of my bill collectors, and I'm gonna be like, nice voice.
Not the bill collector. So right quick, after you win my credit card, what are you doing after work?
He worked for Navient. He worked. Hello, I'm with that one.
I wouldn't
mind connect. Okay, he can press a few buttons and we can all be great.
Right. Listen. Right. Like, do what the hackers refuse to do for the culture.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Do something useful.
Okay.
Get rid of it all, please. All right. Tomorrow, let me wake up and not have no debt, so I can be like, yes.
Listen here. I'm gonna run around this house like I got the Holy Ghost. What are you gonna do, Biden? When you know midterms is coming up? I'm watching you.
Joe sleep. Okay.
Joe been asleep since 4.
Okay. That reminds me. There was a pickup truck in front of me while I was going to get gas, and I just knew it was gonna say Trump 2024 or whatever, and it said "fuck Biden," and I fell out. Biggest day. I was crying.
You don't gotta do him like that.
Oh wow! Like he meant that thing on the back of the red pickup truck. You mean that from the bottom of your soul? You meant all of that.
He's definitely not into Biden. So yeah,
not at all.
Okay.
All right, Miss Fales, what have you learned from 20 to 30 in this, or as you would call the cyanide-filled pool?
Yeah.
That's what she said last episode.
Yeah.
The cyanide-filled pool.
That's what she said.
No,
what she kept saying, throw baby.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of throat babies out here, and I learned that is not my lane at a very early. I mean, it's just not my lane. So I would say, I guess, from 20s to 30s, I have learned to appreciate the little things. I think before I listen now, I still am very much a romantic at heart. I'm still with the whole you a bird, I'm a bird. That's me all day. Y'all talking about meeting them on the fruit aisle in Kroger. I think I'm gonna be walking down the beach in an exotic land in a two-piece, and he's gonna come up out the water glistening and be like, you are who I have been waiting on. So don't crush my dreams about how we're gonna go. I still stand behind that. But I have learned to appreciate
my face things. Will not let me hide what I'm thinking, so it's fine.
What else? I have learned to appreciate the little things. So whereas before I was very much, I don't know. I like, can you just be sane? Can you just be a good person?
Can you be nice?
Can we communicate and it not just be a non-meeting of the mind? Like, can you just have them all together? All here. We here and we here. Like, so I've learned to appreciate the very, very small things. I think before I was thinking on a more grand scale, kind of like, I don't know, bring me somebody that I can build a home with, which I still want those things, but I think I was giving less weight to the smaller things. And now I think I'm giving more weight to the smaller things and less weight to the bigger things, because if the smaller things fall in place, then perhaps we together will practice the spirit of gratefulness and come together and do something great. Okay. So
Okay.
But again, if you see me at 69, mind your business, because he met all the little things, and the little things at that point will be: was he there in Vegas at 5 p.m. like I paid for him to be? Okay.
I cannot.
Yeah. And I learned, get you somebody. This is what I really did learn. From 20 to 30, I learned you need somebody strong. Okay. I was trying to date people. It didn't matter the type, the size, the body. No, because I got plantar. And I couldn't make it up to my apartment door. Like, I could not get up the stairs. Had it not been for my ex being able to carry me up those stairs, it would have been a longer journey than it already was. So that's one thing. You gotta have a strong back.
Strong.
You gotta have a strong back, strong shoulders.
Gotta
hit that gym.
Just got to. I mean, you ain't gotta be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you gotta be able to at least carry me up the threshold.
Don't do something.
You know, I feel like I want somebody that has the same kind of goals, like, yeah, because as you age, you have to take care of yourself and be more active. So that would be something I would, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. So have you been dating since you've been in Atlanta, or you haven't decided to dip your toes in the watering hole, if you will?
Get to that water.
You gotta get that water.
I've had tons of water.
All right now. I heard that. He said we ain't parched out here. This ain't SpongeBob and I ain't in Sandy's bubble. You got me. You heard it.
The only thing that stopped my whoring was COVID. So I think everything happens for a reason. Because I can guarantee you, 2020 was about to.
Okay. So would you say the dating scene in Atlanta has been better than Philly?
It's about the same. I think it's different down here because it's like such a community of brothers that are like dating. So it's not like you just have a certain enclave. You know, Atlanta is black as hell. So you can go anywhere and meet anybody at any time. Hence the fantasy. So I'm getting back out there now. Like I was like on lockdown because of the pandemic because I have 2 roommates. So I didn't want to be out too much. But now as we like come out of everything, it's kind of like, all right, I can go back out there, meet some people. I'm sure there's some good brothers down here.
So you're more so you like to meet people in person. You're not necessarily somebody who would be on the apps.
Right? Oh, I can't do the apps. The apps are a dirty place. And I was solicited. This one dude, he was like, yeah, I'm only around the corner. I was like, all right, cool. Do you think you have a couple dollars? I was like, no.
What?
I know I have a couple, but I also know this conversation ends here.
It's like, this is over. I do have a couple dollars for myself.
Right. So, what do you mean? So for to get some tacos? We can go get some tacos.
Have a good day. Have a nice life. Okay.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It's interesting out here. Like dating is different. I mean, especially like as you age, because like I never thought that I was old until I tried to start to like talk to some of these young motherfuckers.
Yeah. Go babies!
Not.
These little motherfuckers. Like, you 40. When your AARP card coming? Let's go to Denny's.
Oh, like, just disrespectful.
You got me fucked up. We'll fight. I'll fight you.
Wow.
Because I know y'all young bucks can't fight. We'll fight.
Yeah, you can't and can't. Wow. Not the AARP card. Just, yeah, that's
disrespect.
Oh, they never said that, but that's how they make me feel. Like, I need a cane. Like, I'm so wow. Picture it. Philly, 1922. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Now, I have not heard good things about the dating scene in Philly. Like,
have you? Or
I haven't heard good things.
Oh, you haven't heard good things?
I haven't heard good things. In a sense that, like for instance, I guess with Atlanta is known for, I guess, a level of professional women and men, you know what I'm saying? So, that whole hood in the dating is a little bit different, if that makes
not really.
It's sophistihood.
It's shadow. Mm-hmm.
Right. Whereas I feel like if in Philly you might get shot on the wrong day. You know what I'm saying? Not to say you couldn't get shot here, but just there's I don't know how would you say there are more, I guess I'm trying to be because I don't know enough about Philly to speak on it. I hate when people speak on my city if they're
mean,
not from there.
I'm gonna say just say what you say, and then I'll
he can correct you accordingly.
Okay. So do you feel like people are getting into successful long-term relationships in Philly?
I think after a couple of maybe missteps, people are more focused on the family and the success of the relationship when they age.
Okay.
Because I can use like people that I've known. Like one of my best friends, her brother, he just recently got married. And this is a dude that I never thought was going to get married, but got a wife, he got a kid. He been through some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like he's had his fair share of relationships, but you know, I just think I really do think it has to do with aging. I really do. I think it does. Because you can be I know there's one brother down here. He was on one of the apps and he like kept meeting all these women and they were all like professional women. But there's like so many of them. It's like, who do you focus on? Like, do I focus on her because she got this? Do I focus on her because she got this? I really think that dating as a whole, just across the board in America, is just fucked up. I don't think it's different in Philly. I don't think it's different here. I think it's just people are looking for something. And especially after the pandemic, when we had to be alone all that time, you have all these thoughts in your head like, well, what am I going to do next? What am I doing with my life? Blah, blah, blah. I think that dating is probably more heightened now because we're now back out. You know, we outside again. But across the board, I think it just depends on the individual. And I really do think age has to do with it. Because I know I would be more inclined to be in something long-term now than I was back in my 30s. But that's only because of everything that I've been through.
Well, that probably has some truth to it because my fiance is 42.
Okay.
So, but he was married partially in his 30s too. So he was married to about 34 and then got divorced. So, to your point, I think age does have something to do with it. I also think it's the profession that you're in.
Yeah.
If you're like for instance, my fiance is military, and I feel like military men tend to be more focused on being in long-term relationships, whether that's marriage or just in a long-term relationship. Whereas I feel like if you're in college or still trying to get yourself together, you might not be ready to be settled with just one person. Or if you're on the grind, the hustle, a lot of times it doesn't work to be in a relationship.
That's true.
And it irritates. I'm gonna just pause and weigh in. It really irritates me that's okay. Like that's an okay thing for men. Oh, I was on the grind. I wasn't ready. So now I'm 40 and I'm ready. But when women, we don't get that same saving grace. We don't get that same. If I'm on my grind from 15 to 30, and then I'm 35 looking for a husband, I'm now damaged goods, or my stock has decreased in a sense.
I do hate that. I do hate that because it's a lot of brothers that go through the same exact shit, and they're going through the same experiences as y'all: heartache, betrayal, all this other stuff. But because you're women, you get that stigma attached to it because they think you're like emotional and all that, and that's bullshit. I think that's bullshit. I think that double standard is bullshit because I know a ton of dudes that have been through a whole lot of shit, and they should all be in their own Terry McMillan novel.
Not Terry McMillan.
Come on, exactly. And if you got time to get your shit together, I should have time to get my shit together.
Exactly.
Without you looking at me like, oh, you 35. Why did everybody pass up on you? Or why you ain't got kids? Because I couldn't afford them. I was working. The same way you was working, I was working. I like nice shit. What we talking about?
The snacks.
I like the good snacks. I like the bougie snacks.
The pirate's booty.
Yeah. So let's try to rewrite that narrative, guys, for the culture. Can y'all please, because every woman does not wake up dreaming this Cinderella dream. When I turn 18, he gonna come find me. This, I blame the fairy tales. Let's get some new ones because I'm sick of goddamn Rapunzel. I'm sick of goddamn Snow White, Cinderella, all that shit. That's not the goal all the time for everybody. Once you done been up there in that damn tower for some years not working and you ain't found them, sis, it's time to get your ass down and get to work. Go to work. Get your own bricks. Pick up your own sticks. You know what? We're gonna come up with a children's book. That's what we're gonna do. That's next.
Oh my God.
That's next. That's on
Disney has been been going the route more so of empowerment in there, not, you know, this princess trope where, you know, you're waiting for somebody to save you.
Yeah.
Like with what the Moana and what's the other
But
one
see, that ain't gonna work.
Well, what would you prefer?
Disney not gonna work for our culture because we canceled them a while ago. Once they canceled Raven, we canceled them. So now we're gonna have to work on it. Ben, ain't this your element? We gonna.
I mean, look, I'm all about. I'm a super nerd, so it would be nice to have a franchise with a whole bunch of black characters that got superpowers, like just fighting. I'm into that. It don't have to come
from Black Disney.
Us, yeah.
This is true. This
when
is
they
true.
said Disney Plus, we gonna be Disney melanated. We gonna come up with something. We finna. Well, nah, cause she, you know, EJ's a trademark attorney. She gonna be like, nope, that's too close. We're gonna get sued.
Very too close.
I know a little bit.
Absolutely. You know me, friend. You know me, friend.
I felt that. I felt the lawyer tingle. I felt it. It's okay. We're gonna come up with something though, Ben. The creative team, we're gonna get together.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. And so the last thing I want to discuss before we go, have most of you seen the video of the young lady who got arrested by the police officer for refusing to sign the ticket? So what happened is this young lady and her boyfriend were out of town. They had Ohio plates on their car, right? And it was like almost 12 o'clock a.m. or whatever. They in the park. You know how I go. You know, you chill in front of the car, you got the music going, you know, one of them romantic tropes y'all was looking for, right?
Yeah.
So the police pulls up on them and he says, hey, the park is closed. You know, it's after hours. You're not supposed to be here. So instead of just letting them go, he decides that he's going to run their IDs. So he asks them both for IDs, goes back to the car, runs in trying to check for warrants or whatever, comes back, and he actually is giving them tickets, right? Now, again, they were not from Georgia, clearly, because they had Ohio plates. They didn't know that the park was closed after 11 o'clock or whatever. So the gentleman, he's reading the ticket, and he's like, do I have to sign this? He says, if you don't sign it, you're going to go to jail. So he goes ahead and he signs the ticket, right? The girl is standing over next to the car. So he calls her over and he says, hey, I'm giving you a citation. And she was like, what's your name? Like, you know, asking for his badge number or whatever. And as she's asking for it, she walks back to the car. So I don't know if she heard him. So she comes back over to the car and asks him again. And at this point, he's getting upset. His name's Officer Brooks. And so when she asked him again, he got upset. But he said, are you going to sign the ticket? And instead of saying no, she kept asking him more questions. And at that point, he just got irritated and decided he was going to arrest her.
That's crazy.
So she's getting ready to try to put her hand behind her back. And she's like, officer, I'm going to sign the ticket. I don't understand what's happening. Before you know it, she's on the ground. Her head wrap has been knocked off. She's crying. I mean, it was a whole to-do over that she didn't sign this ticket. And I just was kind of curious if you guys had saw it and what you thought, because obviously this video's gone viral. Of course, the Atlanta Police Department has decided they're going to back their officer, you know, saying that he didn't do anything wrong. It was within his discretion to go ahead and arrest her. She didn't comply. It just looked bad. Obviously, it was a black officer, a black woman and a black man, and you know, it just didn't look good. You know, like again, they're from out of town. I'm like, are you trying to beat a quota this year, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I usually when they give you tickets for silly stuff like that, to me, it's because they're trying to meet a quota. I just was kind of taken aback by that.
I didn't know that this took place. Like, was it sometime last week? Did it happen? Like,
this was recent, within this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah, it didn't look good at all.
Well, I still haven't seen the actual footage. But as I said when you first told me about the story, I don't know where in Georgia violating a city ordinance like being in the park after dark is an arrestable offense. So what I believe happened is he may have given, and it's not illegal to not sign the ticket. I don't have to sign anything. I do think that what may have happened, perhaps the officer was having a bad day, and when he asked her to sign and she wouldn't, or asked her to comply with anything small and she didn't, it could be something like step to your left. You decide not to do that, then boom, you're slapped with an obstruction of justice charge, which is an arrestable offense. So I say all that to say, from a legal perspective, as a criminal defensive attorney, obviously I don't like to hear these types of stories. These are the types of stories that I would take all the way to trial to make a mockery of the situation, just because you got to cut it out. I understand that you don't. I didn't watch the video, so again, I take pause in saying or giving a full opinion on it. Outright, that is my opinion, that I don't know being in a park after dark to be an arrestable offense, number one. So I take issue with the fact that she was arrested if that's the only thing she or they were doing wrong.
He arrested her because she wouldn't sign the ticket. When she refused to sign,
that's not an arrestable offense.
That's not even arrested her for,
offense.
not the ticket itself. He was saying that when you don't sign the ticket, something to do with bond or something. I forgot what he said, but you need to watch the video. I just thought it was interesting. Again, watching this couple, like anybody else does, go into the park and you're just hanging out, you know what I'm saying? You're having a little romantic moment, and all of a sudden it turns into this. Like, I know that wasn't on their bingo board for visiting Atlanta.
I can tell you who bingo board is about to be on. Ben Crump.
Yeah, well, Lee Merritt.
Whoever the other one is. It's about to be all over their bingo board, I'm sure.
Lee Merritt is on it. He is now the civil rights attorney for the young lady in that situation. It was I couldn't watch the rest of it, just watching her crying and, you know, him having her on the ground. She's in a dress. She had a head wrap on. She had short hair, so it got knocked off. It was a lot going on.
It sounds like it just escalated and didn't have to be a thing at all.
It didn't.
It doesn't have to be a thing at all.
It didn't. I mean, my thing is, again, they were from out of town. He kept talking about there's been homicides within the parks or whatever. And so that's why they're enforcing this rule that they normally, you know, usually if they see you and you're not doing anything wrong, they go about their business.
That is so dumb. I get tired of them just treating us like we're not human.
And again, this is a Black officer, so I don't know.
White
supremacy doesn't work without, you know, Black participation. And I don't think he would have done that if she was white. I don't.
Oh, hell no. No, he's the overseer. He's the officer. He's the overseer. So
yeah. So I don't know. It just kind of left a weird vibe for me as of late, you know, because everything, when we are so desensitized a little bit, and then every once in a while there's that one video that it surprises me, and this is one of those that surprises me. I rarely you see too much with, you know, Black women, I suppose, than you do with Black men. But also, again, the officer being Black, and apparently a couple people that we know knew the officer, so they were just saying basically that he had a bad day. So I don't know, it was just weird, and I just figured I would to visit that before we go. But I would like to have you on the show again, Ben. This was awesome. I would love to talk with you about some more shows that we feel like have aged well, you know, and just to see, well, let the people know where they can see you. Talk about Southwest Syrup. We go shout out on last show.
Yes. Southwest Syrup is me and my business partner. His name is Alan Holmes. Shout out to Alan.
Hello. What up, Alan?
Alan, that's my man. We came up with these lines of simple syrups that led to us like growing our own produce. So now we're we're bartenders. We have products to sell. We have produce to sell. It's continuously growing. We're coming up on a whole year since we started the idea. So if you want to check us out, check out our journey. It's www.southwestsyrup.com. And on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok is at Southwest Syrup. So check us out. And
we will make sure we have all of that information in the description box. Tell them who you are, Miss Field.
Well, first I want to say, speaking of buying Black and buying local, once you check out Southwest Syrup, also get into it. You see my shirt. It says God is dope. This is a Black clothing line designed by Mr. Sherrod Simpson. He is an Atlanta local ATL watering hose. So if you're listening and you want to sponsor us, we're here for it, Mr. Sherrod.
Hello.
But also, I will not forget to shout out to my Black-owned business, also based in Atlanta, Georgia. I service Atlanta and the surrounding metro. That is Clayton, Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett. It is the Fells firm where advocacy is a priority. We specialize in criminal defense, but we do a lot of other stuff too. Hit us up if you need to. Hopefully you will not. 404-610-8677, www.thefellsfirm.com.
Nice. Your girl EJ of EJ Lee Law Practice, where the motto is to be referee whistle official with your intellectual property and your business here in Georgia. We got some things coming up with live classes, and we're going to be talking about getting your trademarks together. Like, I'm going to make sure that people are straight out here so they don't get their stuff snatched right from under them. Especially for our Black people. It is August. It is Black Business Month. So support a Black business this month. Yay. Absolutely. So again, you can hit me up at 678-343-2799. And our website is ejleelaw.com. All right, guys. And this has been another episode of ATL Watering Hole. This is going to be a live episode. So we'll have this on the YouTube channel. So you can see as well as the audio on our podcast. And so this is going to be the end of season 2. So we're going to start season 3 on our next episode.
Congratulations, ladies.
We've been doing this for a while. I mean, even though there is some cyanide in the water, I do feel like we're giving people a different piece of the water, Yes.
We're trying to help you navigate the water. That's
right. Exactly. Give you a pontoon boat, to get through. Get some of the weeds out the way.
You need a hazmat suit, but okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all right.
It's been real, y'all. We love you. We want to hear from you.
Yes, we do.
All right.